Welcome to Wittenberg Academy's Elementary Latin 2 course. We are using the book this term, Minimus Secundus. It is the continuation of the Minimus series. We used Minimus, getting started in Latin, for Elementary Latin 1. And now we're ready for Elementary Latin 2 and the second volume of Minimus. Like the first volume, it has 12 chapters, which we plan to cover in our 12-week course. If you open to page 4 and 5, you can see the introduction. You can read over this. If you just came with us from Elementary Latin 1, you remember the story of this family. Now we're a few years on. The family has grown up a little bit, and Flavius is moving to Aboracum, which is modern-day York in Britain. And we'll go ahead and get started with Chapter 1, Julius, Last Days at Windolanda. And so let us begin on page 7 and review the vocabulary first. So some nouns. Clamorum. Clamorum is a noise. Pompa. Pompa, parade. Praefectus. Praefectus is the commander. Now for all these, you'll want to have your vocabulary flashcards that you make. On one side, put the Latin word, on the other, the English, obviously. Let's take a look at the verbs. Appropinquat. Appropinquat. He or it approaches or is approaching. Audient. Audient, they hear, they are hearing. Equitat. Equitat. He, she, or it is riding. Incadent. Incadent. They march or are marching. We have some adjectives. Agitati. Agitati means excited. You can see the word agitated in there. Laeti. Laeti means happy. Omnes. Omnes means all or everyone. Praecipius. Praecipius means special. Adverbs. Subito means suddenly, subito. Tum means then, tum. Exclamations. Ecce. Ecce means look. Oiga means hooray. Oiga, hooray. Vale. Vale means goodbye. An interrogative, a question word. Cur. Cur means why. And some idioms. Alii, alii means some and others. Ituero. Ituero means yes or indeed or you bet. Rem explicat. Rem explicat means that explains the situation. Alright, back on page 6 with our reading. Now that Flavius is leaving Windolanda, all the soldiers are taking part in a big parade. They are saying goodbye to him and to his family. So, pompa appropinquat. That's a mouthful. Pompa appropinquat. So what does that mean? Based on our vocabulary, the parade draws near. Pompa magnifica est. Pompa magnifica est. That's the parade is magnificent. And then we hear ituero. Ituero, yes indeed, or you bet. Lepidina et Julius pompam spectant. Lepidina et Julius pompam spectant. Where's the verb? At the end there, spectant. That means they are watching. Who's watching? Lepidina and Julius. Lepidina and Julius are watching. What are they watching? Pompam, the parade. Alright, Pandora, what does she say? Rufa equum specta. Rufa equum specta. That's Rufus, look at the horse. And Rufus says, Equus splendidus est, oiga. Equus splendidus est, oiga. The horse is splendid, the horse is great. Oiga, hooray. Pandora rufum vocat. Pandora rufum vocat, the verb vocat, calls. Pandora calls to Rufus. In sentence, box 3. Ecce pater equitat. Ecce pater equitat. That's behold, father is riding, riding his horse. And Corinthus says, Ituero, equus praecipius est. Ituero, Equus praecipius est. So he says, you bet, the horse is special, or it's a special horse. Rufus Corinthum vocat. The verb, vocat, calls. Rufus calls out or speaks to Corinthus. Now Corinthus says, Candida Flavius equitat. Candida Flavius equitat. So it's Candidus. Flavius is riding. And Candida says, Equus magnificus est. Equus magnificus est. The horse is magnificent. Corinthus Candidum vocat. Corinthus calls out to Candidus, or speaks to Candidus. And now in 5, Milites appropinquat. Milites appropinquant. The soldiers draw near. Alii incedent. Alii equitant. Alii incedent. Alii equitant. Some are marching, some are riding. And now all the soldiers say, Oiga, Flavius praefectus optimus est. Oiga, Flavius praefectus optimus est. Hooray, Flavius is praefectus optimus, the best commander. And in panel 9, Minimus et vibrissa dormiunt. Minimus et vibrissa dormiunt. So Minimus and Vibrissa are sleeping. Subito clamorum audient. Subito clamorum audient. Suddenly, audient, they hear clamorum, a noise. Cur omnes agitati sunt. Cur omnes agitati sunt. Cur means why. Why omnes, why are all, omnes sunt, why are all, or in English we'd say why is everybody, agitati, excited. Tum Rufus rem explicat. Tum Rufus rem explicat. Then Rufus explains the matter, explains things. Oiga laetati sum. Excuse me, not laetati, laeti. Oiga laeti sumus. Oigi laeti sumus. Hooray, we are happy. Minimus pompum spectat. Vibrissa minimum spectat. Minimus pompum spectat. Vibrissa minimum spectat. So Minimus watches the pompum, the parade, while Vibrissa watches Minimus. And now all the soldiers, Vale gratias tibi agimus. Vale gratias tibi agimus. So that's hooray. Gratias agimus means we give thanks. Tibi, to you. We give thanks to you. We thank you. All right. So, grasp the grammar on page 8. The most important word in a Latin sentence is the verb. It describes what action is happening. In Latin, the verb is normally found at the end of the sentence or the phrase. Look carefully at these two sentences. Can you remember what they mean? Minimus pompum spectat. Minimus pompum spectat. Minimus watches the parade. Lepidina et Iulius pompum spectant. Lepidina et Iulius pompum spectant. Lepidina and Iulius watch the parade. In each sentence, the verb is in bold. Notice that spectat means he watches, he, she, or it watches, but spectant means they watch. Latin uses different verb endings to show who is doing the action. Notice too that there is no word for he or they. The ending of the verb shows us who is doing the watching. So here are the present endings for specto. So specto is I watch, spectas, you watch, spectat, he, she, or it watches, spectamus, we watch, spectatus, you watch, spectant, they watch. Okay, so you need to make a vocabulary card for this. So at the top of the card, you'll write present tense of specto, and then you'll reproduce this chart just with Latin on the front side. So specto, spectas, spectat, spectamus, spectatus, spectant, just as they have it listed there. So the first line is first person, second line is second person, third line is third person, and that first column is singular, and the second column is plural. And then on the back you'll write I watch, you watch, he watches, we watch, you watch, they watch. And then you could also make a card of just the endings if you wanted, o, os, ot, amus, otis, ont. And I'd recommend that, actually having two different cards. One with the whole word, specto, spectos, spectot, spectamus, spectatus, spectant, and the other just with the endings, o, os, ot, amus, otis, ont. Okay, we call this set of endings the present tense because the action is happening now. Here are more verbs. Translate them into English, taking care to check the endings to see who is doing the action. So they have 12 verbs here. Go ahead and pause the tape and write out the translation of these 12 verbs. Equitat, apropinquant, voco, equitamus, and so forth. And then bring the tape back and I'll give you the answer. So this is good practice. So pause the tape now and write out your answers. Okay, let's go through these. Equitat means he rides. Apropinquant means they draw near. Voco is I call. Equitamus is we are riding. Spectat is he, she, or it watches. Equito is I am riding. Apropinquatis is you all, many, you plural, many yous, you all are riding. Spectatis, y'all are watching. Equitant, they are riding. Vocos, you call. Spectamus, we watch. Apropinquas, you draw near. Okay. And Minimus says, try to remember those endings because then you can understand hundreds of Latin verbs. Indeed, you need to memorize these endings along with your vocab because that'll be the chief content of the first quiz. Of course, will be our vocabulary words and these forms or endings, or you'll hear me call them paradigms that we're learning. From the pictures on pages 6 and 7, try to work out the meaning of est, sumus, and sunt. Well, you know those already. Let's take a look now at these words. Sum es est, sumus estis sunt. Let's read that again. Sum es est, sumus estis sunt. And again, you need to make a vocabulary card just as it's listed there in that same format, those same two columns. Sum es est, sumus estis sunt on one side, and on the back side, I am, you are, he is, we are, y'all are, they are. Okay. Latin roots. Use your knowledge of Latin to explain the underlying word in each sentence. The Queen likes to watch equestrian events. It means events having to do with horses or riding horses. If you are a singer, you must look after your vocal cords, the cords in your throat that make sounds, that call out to people. Most football clubs now provide seating for the spectators, those who watch the game. In some countries, young people still do a period of military service, that is, they're kidnapped by the government to serve in the army. 5, Vesuvius is a dormant volcano, a volcano that is sleeping. And 6, teachers sometimes use audio-visual aids in lessons, that is, things people can hear and see. You can read this next section, the Roman report, about the various archaeological things found in England from the Roman period. Take a look at that on your own. This will do it for the first part of Chapter 1. So you need to study your vocabulary, study your paradigm forms, and in this Elementary Latin 2, those flashcards are going to become even more important. We're going to learn much more vocabulary and many more paradigms. So make those cards and study them well before you watch the next video for Chapter 1.